These cycles perpetuate, don't they? They build in one into another?
If you actually adjust well, so we said adjust often, if the adjustment actually creates learning, people tend to strengthen their relationships, and then you get into another cycle. In fact, in the book we talk about that cycle ascending over time, and the amount of value that gets produced per unit of time, money, and stress goes way up. So it takes less time and effort to produce more volume if you stay in cycles of value, if you stay in align, act, adjust. Now, we have not found anyone that stays there all the time because there is a competing cycle. One of our colleagues calls it the evil twin to the cycle of value, which is the cycle of waste. And the cycle of waste starts the exact same place as the cycle of value does, which is in the presence of differences. Sometimes conflict, sometimes just differences like between a man and a woman, between a person in one department of a company and another department. In the presence of differences, you can either find some point of alignment to do something about together, or in the presence of that difference, I make my first move to tell you, actually, Jim, you're wrong. And if you make the first reaction to difference, criticism, telling somebody they're wrong, it triggers something that we may talk about a little later in brain function that has people get defensive. They're less able to hear the next thing you say. So we say if I greet difference with disagreement, I'm going to start a cycle of waste. It doesn't mean we don't want to surface our disagreements. We do. We just don't want the first response to a difference to be, you're wrong. And if anybody who's watching this or listening to it, if you can think of the last time somebody did some way of conveying to you, you're wrong, notice what happens in your body, because our brains actually get our bodies to get ready to defend in that moment, which then destroys a chance to be smarter together than separately and definitely weakens relationship. That cycle of value of disagree, defend, destroy also repeats itself. And you can see extraordinary examples in companies and in families of destruction that came from people not able to effectively find some point of connection in the presence of difference. And then that perpetuates, and you see companies get into enormous trouble where it really affects their P&L, balance sheet, cash flow. And the same thing happens in our personal relationships. A lot of that destruction of value, personally and professionally, is completely unnecessary.